is to continue doing what we were doing before with trying to make the mods as similar as possible. And I know that this kit can make loads of power with ethanol and all that kind of stuff, but the STI makes 180 kilowatts, so 180 kilowatts is what I want. And I know that we can tune this to 200, 220, 250 higher, but 180 kilowatts is the goal, because then we've got two blue two-door Subarus that have same tyres, same kind of setup, both making the same power. And then we can hit the track, hit the street, Martin, even. We can hit Church Street, Parramatta. But we both need bigger front mounts / top mounts.
And chromies.
Bumper off, sump off, airbox out, fake sound generator thing gone.
Yeah, unfortunately we've got to get rid of that.
Oh,
I
damn.
wanted to keep it,
Damn.
but it's got to go.
Cool. All right, let's get it up. There's no hoist here. We're going old school.
I know, far out
On your back, dude.
and take it.
Yeah.
The first step in this turbo conversion is jacking up the car. If it's too low, you can use some ramps or planks of wood to get the jack under. Then make sure that it's securely on some jack stands. You don't need to remove the wheels, but it does make access just a little bit easier. The first item going straight to the bin is the factory intake system. And then the next step is to remove the whole front bar, which sounds like it should be kind of simple, but on this car is pretty detailed, with over 1,000 little clips, screws and connectors. Okay, it's not actually 1,000, but compared to your typical JDM Nugget, which is what we're used to working on, there is way more involved in getting this off. But finally, the thing is gone, and that means it's time to start talking about front mount strategy.
So Tyler, the front bar's off. Now all of this stuff, what goes and what stays?
Yep, so we've got to take the little air deflectors off, which sort of drive air, I guess, direct it into the radiator, which they're a good idea, but that's where our intercooler piping's got to go. So it's got to go. And we retain this bottom cover, which is where our intercooler will sit, but also we'll attach a bracket to the crash bar so it's still fixed.
Yep. And then bracket on top as well, right?
Yeah, sorry, it's bracket on top,
Yep.
and the base sits on there. It just makes it a bit, gives it a bit more support.
While we keep pulling the front of the car apart in preparation for our front mount and piping, I'm going to get underneath the car and start undoing the exhaust system.
And up top, we need to access a vacuum source, which is under the intake manifold.
So if we just sit that there, all I got to do is, there's a hose under here, see that?
Yeah, right.
That's your vacuum hose.
Yep.
So what happens with a lot of guys that boost them, some of them don't have a blow-off valve, some of these kits.
Yeah.
So there's hoses, if they pop off, same with these ones under here.
I didn't even know that lifted off.
Yeah, it's a bit of, so if they blow off under boost, they create a massive vacuum leak. It doesn't hurt the engine, but the car will stall.
It
People
just
freak
runs
out. Yeah,
and
it
you
runs
don't
like
know
shit.
because you can't see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I didn't even know that was a cover.
When you like if I was to do it properly, I would honestly take that off blanket, and then we run that into a catch can.
Oh yeah, cool.
And then that one into a catch can.
Yep.
For the purpose of this, we're going to run it back into the intake.
Yeah.
I normally don't like doing that, but
Especially for as mild as this is going to be as
Yeah,
well. Like,
it'll be
also,
fine.
you'd expect to not have too many blow-by issues on
no,
something that is mild.
they're pretty good.
While we've got the throttle body removed, we're going to clean it up. This one has quite a lot of carbon buildup, which is not bad. Some throttle body cleaner and a soft rag will sort it out.
The headers are about to come out. They've only been on there for a couple of weeks, but now there they go.
Yay!
And they're gone.
We actually made some decent power with these unequal length headers when we were naturally aspirated, but now they're gone forever. We're dropping the oil and then drilling the holes that are going to mount the intercooler into place. Next up, I'm removing the BRZ's factory sump, which is also going to be banished to the land of naturally aspirated slowness.
So this here is the factory sump. This here is the SME sump that comes with our kit. So this here holds around 1.5 litres more oil. It's also baffled, which is really good for track use, which is what's going to be going on with this. And this has got the return for the turbo. So obviously the turbo is getting cooled with coolant and lubricated with the oil. And that's going to be coming down here, flowing back into there. And that there just bolts directly on, which is what I'm about to do in a second. But Martin very kindly is down there scraping all the goo off the block. And then this one will go on. And then I will put on the exhaust parts, and then underneath the car, we're pretty much done, and then we get to the good stuff up the top.
A baffled sump is designed to keep the oil pickup fed with oil during hard driving hectic G-forces and inertia, like track use or the KFC drive-through.
All right, the sump's all cleaned up. It's time to hit it with some brake cleaner. Do you have any WD-40 specialist parts and brake cleaner there, mate?
I sure do, Martin. Let me just send that under the car to you, mate.
Thanks, mate.
There you go, mate. There's that WD brake and parts
Just going to
cleaner
spray
from the
it.
specialist range.
The parts are so clean now, mate.
All right, it's an exciting time because it's time to test fit the front mount. And look at that. That's awesome. So you have two options. You can either go black or we can spin it and go for the defect edition, which would look like this, which does kind of look cool and tells everybody that you're turbo, but I don't need to tell everybody that I'm turbo. I only need to tell Marty and he already knows.
Except you're on the internet telling everyone that you're